Hello, everyone. I just want to say that I'm sorry for not posting for a little bit. The only reason I haven't is because I started back at college. And of course, since this whole COVID bullshit, we're doing all my classes on, like, doing Zoom meetings and WebEx and that stuff, which is just fucking annoying. Especially if you're taking economics. I mean, and there's math involved. Not all of it's math, so that's nice, but better than something like stats. But still, I'm not tech savvy, and you can notice that because obviously I don't really have good equipment for the videos I'm doing. Not saying I'll even keep these videos up forever, especially if I want to, let's say, go on to be a lawyer or something. So I'll keep the channel, but I may not keep these videos. But that will probably be from years from now, anyways. But anyways, um, I just want to say that um, who I will probably be voting for, because for a while I said, like, I'm not gonna vote for Trump or anyone else because they're both crappy, and Trump did not keep his promises. But now I will probably this November vote for Trump. And the only reason is because I don't actually think he will do anything, you know for the country. I don't think he's got. There's definitely gonna be no wall. He's probably not gonna do anything. But that's kind of the exact point, because to me, it's kind of with Trump, you will probably get more riots and anarchy, and then the police defunded, and then with so it kind of be kind of anarchy in a sense. But then with Biden, you get basically anarcho tyranny, and some of you probably already know what that is. And what I mean by anarcho tyranny, it's kind of like what you're having in Western Europe, and other countries where uh, you can be arrested for having a wrong opinion, or people being arrested for not wearing a mask or not agreeing with it. But these, let's say, Pakistani rape gangs in Britain, the police won't do anything about that. So there's the anarchy, and then there's the tyranny part. So that's the kind of choice I feel like I have. So with a Trump presidency, at least the police would be, in some of these more liberal areas, would be so defunded that hopefully we're seeing the country's going. You wouldn't be arrested for having the wrong ideas or the wrong thoughts, if that makes sense. So really, for this country as of right now, I feel like you're kind of a two choice. Either we're gonna be like Brazil, or we're gonna be Western Europe. And I almost think Brazil is better, although maybe more dangerous. But at the same time, at least you can defend yourself. I mean, there's also private security, private militias, and stuff like that. And no, I'm not a libertarian. I'm just thinking as of right now and where that country's heading. So, um, yeah, I probably will end up voting for Trump, because at least Trump, he will be, uh, he won't do anything, but Biden will. And Biden will do bad things. So I would almost prefer Trump in that scenario. And there's also the thinking that hopefully, and this is going to sound kind of bad, although I don't think a civil war will necessarily happen. Probably won't, but, and I know that sounds larpy as hell to say it will, but it's just, you're looking at the way this country's going, and he heard from Trump. He said, and Trump is a big bluffer, so he may not accept the election results if he loses, but um, he probably won't do anything. And he said he wouldn't accept it if he did not get nominated. But not just that. You also have on the left, and with heads of the DNC. And let me remind you, these aren't just like your college Democrats. They're not the plebs of the Democratic Party. You have people like John Podesta giving out an idea that if Trump got reelected, that one of their brainstorming ideas was that the West Coast would try to secede. So that would be California, Washington, and Oregon. So the only reason I'm saying these things is because, like, it's one thing to have some right-wing LARPer or just some idiot plebeian Democrats from some college, then that wouldn't really mean anything. But when you have high up people talking about these things, and not only that, I think I heard recently, I don't know if this is true, that Russia, if in the event of a civil war or some sort of crisis in America, Russia would support the right wing. So it's like, I mean, it doesn't surprise you because America's a very powerful country. So, of course, countries in different international systems would have an invested interest in whoever would help their side most, of course. So it kind of makes sense. And that's also a scary thought because what will it? Because that wouldn't necessarily just be a civil war. That could bring a bunch of other countries involved in possibly another world war. So, I don't know. It's dangerous times. We're living in a country where it doesn't mean much to be American anymore. I mean, essentially, like, being American is like being a Yugoslavian in the 1990s. I mean, it sort of means something, sort of. But it's just the ethnic, racial, cultural, religious, political values, whatever. There's so many differences, and I don't see anything to reconcile these things. I mean, how can we reconcile with people who believe it's okay to kill the unborn? How can you? Right? I don't know if you can, and I'm not a secessionist either. I mean, the only reason really why I'm not is because it didn't really work the last time it was tried. So I'm kind of like, why would I keep on devoting myself to some pipe dream? And I don't really see, maybe you can make a sense of like a kind of cultural balkanization, but as far as like actual separate countries, I don't really see that happening. Like, to me, I just don't really know, I don't see actual secession really happening. Or even if someone attempts it, they'll get crushed, ultimately. So that's why I'm not going to devote myself to some dreams or pipe dreams of balkanization. I understand why someone would, but I just don't see it really happening. That has already kind of been decided with the Civil War. I mean, you can sympathize with the Confederacy, fine. I sort of do in some ways. I had family who fought for it, but it's kind of like, it was kind of decided at that war, like, which America won. So it's kind of like, there you go. So yeah, probably be voting for Trump specifically because he won't do anything. And we just kind of look at, like, if the Democrats actually win, and especially if Texas becomes blue, largely due to changing demographics, they basically own the country now. I personally think they do. So if Texas goes blue, they basically own the country now. I would also say that other parts of Texas should probably break apart from it. I mean, because let's just face it, Texas secession is not going to happen. Y'all could say, oh, I was a republic before. The American government doesn't fucking give a shit. They don't care. Your little cries of, we should be our own republic. But now there is an actual option that Texas can be broken apart. So, and I also want the original French territories of the eastern half to join Louisiana. Even though most of the population will even be francophone, they should. So, I know that some of the shit I said was just so LARPy, but like I said, voting for Trump because he won't do anything. And I prefer an anarchy, America and anarchy are turning into Brazil, where at least I still have some freedoms and I have the right to defend myself than anarcho-tyranny with Biden. So to me, it's anarcho-tyranny or anarchy. That's kind of how I see it.